Namaskar. This video is being made for January 24th celebration of Dr. Udai Pareek's completion of the Udai Pareek centenary celebrations at the Academy of Human Resources Development based currently in Ahmedabad. I have talked quite a lot about Dr. Udai Pareek because I have had the good fortune of working with Dr. Pareek almost for about 40 and odd years. I joined to work with Dr. Pareek in 1969 and worked with him till he died in the year 2010. So that's almost about 41, 42 years of his life. I had the pleasure of working with him. I have co-authored about 15 books along with Dr. Pareek. It has been a great learning to work with him. And for me, celebrating Dr. Pareek means actually celebrating his works. Dr. Pareek has been a very great human being, and his work helped developing other people as great human beings. His contributions range from making individuals to be more effective, building individuals as individuals, building the roles which individuals perform by helping them to make the role as well as take the roles through his concepts of role efficacy, and helping individuals to perform good roles, discover their potential, be interpersonally sensitive, and get the team output well through his work on T groups, sensitivity training, and a number of other things on groups, including organization development interventions he has made. His work also goes on to building organizations for excellence. And then, most importantly, I think starting in early 60s, even earlier, Dr. Pareek has conceptualized a concept called extension motivation, which is a responsible concept for building societies. So, if you look at the range of work of Dr. Pareek, which includes about 350 and odd papers and about 40 and odd books, it ranges from individual to dyads to roles to teams to organizations and society at large. This is remarkable about Dr. Pareek, who is a social scientist, behavioral scientist, and of course, as I said, above all, a great human being. I'll briefly mention about his conceptual contributions. It's very difficult to cover all his conceptual contributions in a short talk, but it's very important that we at least know and have a sense of the range of contributions he has made. How do you make individuals more effective? I think you can have many interventions. One of the interventions that Dr. Pareek has taught us and left, I think, his legacy is through a series of tests that are made to help individuals discover their inner world and manage their inner world to be better human beings. In the early part of his career, he worked on the reactions of people to frustrating situations. He adopted Rosenweig's picture frustration test, where pictures are shown to individuals consisting of some frustrating situations, and you ask people to respond given a picture where something is not going well, and ask the person to respond. The person responds, and his or her responses can be categorized into those which are intropunitive, that is, punish themselves when you are frustrated, when you are not able to face a particular situation. Some people tend to punish themselves. Some other people ignore the situation. Or this is what is called as impunitive and extrapunitive. Some other people attack the outside object. These are three ways. Extending this particular theory, which Dr. Pareek formulated based on Rosenweig's work in the early 50s, he took on modifications of this test and applied to managerial situations in organizational life and also in school and college kind of settings. This is the earlier part of his work. The remarkable contribution Dr. Pareek made in terms of building individuals is the book that he had written on training for development, along with Rolf Linton. This book came out in USA. First, it was published in America, Training for Development, jointly with Rolf Linton and Dr. Pareek, when Dr. Pareek was working at the University of North Carolina, much before the American Society for Training and Development published its own handbook of training for development. I am told this book was a textbook for many years, beginning 1967 in many of the US universities. A few years later, of course, Dr. Pareek and Linton revised this book and talked of some new theories and new ways of looking at training and learning and things like that. If you type Linton and Pareek in Google or in Amazon, you will get all their set of books that have contributed to managing training function. And after all training is meant to build individuals. Another very significant contribution of Dr. Pareek came from a handbook of instruments, HRD instruments for training people, which has a total section devoted to individual discovering various dimensions of his or her personality. It is sense of efficacy, its motivational profiles, internal locus of control, interpersonal trust, and tolerance for ambiguity, and a whole lot of things. And these are all wonderful contributions of Dr. Pareek on helping individuals to grow and build themselves as individuals. Next set of contributions of Dr. Pareek is on helping people to live their role, in fact, create their role. His concepts of role efficacy, I still remember how Dr. Pareek developed the concept of role efficacy. Both of us were teaching in a program meant for sales executives of Air India sometime in the year 1976 in Bombay. And I was taking a class on sense of efficacy and dimensions of personal efficacy. And Dr. Pareek was sitting behind my class and started scribbling things. And after I completed the session, he said, Venkatesh, I think we should conceptualize the way people perceive their role just as they perceive themselves. And the role is very important in Indian setting. And I have the following dimensions. He came up with 7 dimensions, and if I recollect, I added another 3 dimensions. And totally, the role efficacy consists of 10 different dimensions which enable a person to get the best out of the role he or she is performing. This includes whether you perceive your role as central, whether you are integrating your own talent into the role, self-role integration, whether your role is linked with other people, whether your role offers you enough of challenges, whether your role offers you to grow, whether your role offers you for achieving superordinate goals, and so on and so forth. I think there are 10 dimensions which are again further classified into those dimensions which help you to make your role, create your own role, versus those dimensions that help you to take the role that is given to you. And both role making and role taking, I think you can be very successful and get the best out of yourself. These are second set of contributions. In fact, Dr. Pareek wrote a whole book on managing organizational roles effectively. When it comes to building institutions, Dr. Pareek wrote a very interesting book sometime in mid 80s, which he titled as Beyond Management. That was the time when management was on the top of the world, and MBA became a very prominent kind of career to pursue. So Dr. Pareek felt that I think it's time that we go beyond management. And what does beyond management mean? He conceptualized going beyond management means not merely leading a few people, but creating institutions that transcend your own life and your own tenure. So the big contribution of his book, Beyond Management, is going beyond and institutional building. It is in this book his original theory of a paradigm for development, which he wrote sometime in the year 1967-68, published in Journal of Social Issues. In this paradigm for development, Dr. Pareek said, if any country has to develop well, any society has to develop, three things are required. One, they should have achievement motivation. People should have a concern for excellence, concern for doing things better, continuous improvements, concern to do unique things, and so on, as McClellan defined. So he said a high achievement drive, and multiply it with by a high drive to help each other, which he called as extension motivation. You extend yourself and make your talent available for other people. In fact, it is this concept that helped me many years later, after Dr. Pareek died, to come up with a concept of effective people and wrote the book on effective people. So that is the source of inspiration. So Dr. Pareek in this article said that the third thing that is required is to move away from dependence on outside agencies. So achievement motivation should be high, extension motivation should be high, and dependence motivation should be low. If you are too dependent on others, you cannot grow. What a beautiful kind of a conceptualization he. And this is what he talked again in the book on Beyond Management. When you read the book Beyond Management, Institution Building, you will understand what are the, I think, interesting things he talked of. So, if you look at Dr. Pareek's contributions, his contributions help individuals to grow as individuals to do a good job through interpersonal feedback, coaching, and so on, strengthening dyadic relationship, boss-subordinate relations, superior-subordinate relationships, and so on, and role efficacy by creating roles, team effectiveness through organizational diagnosis, T-group, and such kind of interventions, and the development of a society by creating a culture which is less dependent, which is highly extension driven, and which is highly achievement driven, and so on. So I think if you look at these contributions, these books that Dr. Pareek has written, I think cut across time. They are timeless, and they also cut across levels from individual to the society as a whole, and so on. I think he has left with us a great legacy. I think his books are timeless. Those of you who are interested in reading this, his handbook of instruments, which I am sure most of you are familiar with. I'll just show to you. This is the book. This is one version of it. This is training instruments in HRD and OD. Later, Surabhi Purohit joined him in making an updated version of this available. And both of us wrote another interesting thing on developing motivation through experiencing, a book that is currently out of print, which focuses on a series of tests that can be used in classroom kind of settings. And we also wrote, I'm sure most of you know, Designing and Managing Human Resource Systems. This is a 1981 edition. That is when we, I think, introduced it to the world, the human resource development concepts, which has about 14 chapters and talked about it. Our own original work on pioneering human resource development in Larsen and Toubro is published by the Academy of HRD, which gives the original two consulting reports. And our work on institutional building has been republished now by the Ahmedabad Management Association. It was edited by Udai Pareek, Ravi Mathai, and myself. In fact, we edited another book, Management Processes in Universities, which talks also of institution building. And with Professor Pastanji, we have written a book on organizational processes, behavior process in organizations. And also we wrote a book on changing teacher behavior through feedback, which is based on our original study of classroom teacher behavior. And Academy of HRD also published another interesting book on Road to Empowerment with Uma Jain and M.G. Jomon, and so on. So friends, I think there are large number of publications of Dr. Udai Pareek. Please get a copy of some of these books and learn about so many dimensions of life. I'm happy Academy of HRD is celebrating Dr. Pareek, and I want to wish all of you all the best on this great day, and I hope you will have an opportunity to learn more of Dr. Pareek's works. I think the best way to know Dr. Pareek is pick up any of his books and spend time is understanding, assimilating, and building on it, developing, because I think he has laid the foundation, he has laid the ground rules, and I think we can only do much more. I think we can go beyond extension motivation, we should be able to go beyond even institution building, and we should be able to create a society where every person gives his or her best and contribute to the development of the society in which we live. My tributes to Dr. Pareek, and I thank you very much for listening to this long video, and wish you a great celebration, great learning all through your life from Dr. Udai Pareek. All the best from TV Rao and TV Rao Learning Systems. We are all the time interested in promoting. In fact, Dr. Pareek was advisor to us for all through his life since the time we started in 1996 till the time he died 2010, and participated in our programs. So we are lucky to have his presence even today intellectually in whatever we do. So I wish you all the best and look forward to interaction with you at some point of time.